In 2021, the world was given the first season of Squid Game, which I'm sure we've all heard of, and it quickly grew to become one of Netflix's biggest series to this date. And now in December of 2024, the highly anticipated season 2 is finally coming out to Netflix, and I was able to get my hands on two S H Figuarts from the first season, the Frontman and the Masked Worker. Apparently these have been out for a while, going around for $80 each, but I was able to get them together for $50 from eBay, so I thought that was a super good deal that I couldn't pass up. Looking at the boxes, they are similar, only difference being the product shots obviously. The reason the Masked Worker has two figures on the front is because it includes two masks you can use to interchange between the square and the circle, but the missing one being the Triangle Worker, who is sold as a separate figure with different accessories. Now speaking of the accessories, the Pink Worker comes with the other mask as I just mentioned, a mini knife, a backpack, and in terms of hands they've got open hands, relaxed ones, and weapon holding hands of course. As for the Frontman, he's pretty much got the same set of hands, a pistol, and his green phone from the show. And I also didn't realize this until recording, but my figure is missing a radio accessory. But like I said, this was sold to me through eBay as used, so I guess that's fine. Taking a look at the figures, they're simple but great, but also have their problems of course. Starting with the Frontman, they nailed his silhouette with the trench coat. Obviously there's pretty much no paint to this figure since that's part of his menacing design. It's all black with the literal only non-black part I see being the buckles on his shoes. And just to get one of these problems out of the way, I'm sure you could see it too, is the lack of articulation, given that the trench coat is a solid piece of plastic. And if you collect figures, you know that the trench coat is pretty much a sign that the figure will not move. Now Figuarts did try to fix this by cutting it up in the back, but I don't know how well that works, but we'll talk about that later. But speaking of the back, there is a good amount of wrinkle sculpting, which I appreciate, and the way the butterfly joints connect at an angle with the shoulders really helps give the angular look that the trench coat gives this character. And for the face sculpt, it's got a geometric look to it seen in the show, which I think they also nailed. The hood and the head are separate pieces, but it moves from the neck together, which I appreciate because when you move the head, it makes it super easy to not look goofy, which is something Marvel Legends doesn't know how to do with their hooded figures. Now moving to the soldier, there's definitely way more to talk about here than on the Frontman. It's got the vibrant pink that these soldiers are known for and has good texturing seen all around the figure, even being seen on the joints, which is really cool. The sculpting details on the figure are great. I like how they're able to capture the wrinkles where the suit would bunch up, for example on the back of the hood, and the cuffs down at the bottom of the pants. Also, all the pockets on this figure protrude out nicely, giving it a weighted look. The black line down the middle is clean and consistent with a smoother texture seen on the belt, gloves, and the shoes, with the mask being the only not smooth black piece. It's super easy to change these masks, just grab it from the bottom and pull and it slides right off. The mask has a similar feel to the rest of the suit, and looking at both shape masks, they're very clean and well painted, so that's nice to see. This figure has way more articulation that's accessible given that there's no solid piece of plastic draped over it, but there is one minor problem I have with this. For some reason, the middle section of the figure is a separate piece of plastic that kind of just feels like it's wedged between the crotch and the upper torso, so it kind of just flails around. It's not a huge problem, I just think it's an odd decision, but I'm sure Figuarts did that for a reason. Right? Both figures have good articulation in the heads and in the arms, but the bodies is where they differentiate. The Frontman, once again, has a trench coat, can't really move. They did try doing these cuts in the trench coat, but it just doesn't really work that well. There's also a cut at the bottom, which also just looks weird if you don't keep it right, but he does have good leg movement despite that. But on the Masked Worker, like I said, he has this flimsy middle part, but a good diaphragm joint on top, and for the legs, they move very well. It's just kind of weird articulation with the thigh. I'm just not used to this because this is one of my first S H Figuarts. But yeah, other than that, good movement on this Masked Worker. And for the Frontman, So yeah, that's my review on these S H Figuarts Squid Game figures. Do you guys have them? Do you guys want them? Did you even know that they exist? Because I definitely didn't right before I bought them. If you're gonna buy these brand new, I definitely don't know if they're worth $80. The pink soldier could be worth that price point depending on what you're willing to do with it, but the Frontman, I'm just not sure. Like, this is the only way I would have bought them, through this discount on eBay, I'm not gonna lie. But the pink worker is definitely the better figure out of the two. There's just so much more to him. So in my opinion, if you're gonna get one of these, get the pink worker. But if you're a fan of the Frontman that much, he's alright too. But yeah, let me know what you guys thought of the review. Like, comment, and subscribe if you have not already, and I will see you guys in the next video.